2024 paper 2 question 16, and we have to express 3 cos squared of x minus 1 in the form a plus b sine squared x, and it says show the working, so you want to be double sure that you show every last step of this. Pause the video if you wish to, but I'm going to continue. So this is a trig identity question, and with most trig identity questions, one or both of these identities comes in useful. So the first thing you want to do is think, can you use one of these identities? These are taught to you explicitly, and you want to learn both of these. So we have to convert something with a cos squared x to something with a sine squared x. I think the first one might be useful. So we have cos squared x but no sine squared x. We want to change it to something with a sine squared x. So we want to rearrange the sine squared x plus cos squared x equals 1. And if you take sine squared x away from both sides, you get cos squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x. So cos squared x equals 1 minus sine squared x. Then we want to substitute it into 3 cos squared x minus 1. Just watch where you put the brackets. Be really careful with this one. And 3 times 1 is 3. Then that's going to be 3. Got a minus, so 3 times sine squared x is 3 sine squared x. But it's a negative, so 3 minus 3 sine squared x minus 1. Collecting like terms, we get 2 minus 3 sine squared x. And we just want to check if we have it in the correct format. In the form a plus b sine squared x. Well, yeah, we have a is 2 and b is minus 3. I know it's a negative we have in this one and a positive in this one, but 2 minus 3 sine squared x simply means 2 plus minus 3 sine squared x. If you make a is 2 and b is minus 3. So let's have a look at how the SQA would give the marks in this question. I would have said this one is a challenging one, but let's just have a look. The first mark would be for the substitution, and the second mark would be for getting the final answer. this, I would say, is the amount of detail you want to go into, and pay particular attention to the part that says show your working. So I would say this is what you want to get, and you would get no marks if you showed no working, so that's something to watch for. And you would lose marks if you wrote something that looked like this. So you would lose marks if you wrote this, because that is equal to this. So what this means is you take x, you square x, and then you find the sign of it. Whereas in the question we had this, which is something totally different. What this means is you have x, you find the sign of x, then you square. So this is an aside to the rest of the question, but I want to make this absolutely clear that these are not the same thing. So sine squared x is the sine of x all squared, but this means you find x squared, then take the sine of it. You would also lose marks if you wrote this instead of sine squared x. You would lose marks for this, or this, for instance. So this would lose you a mark because you don't have any variables. So something like that. And the common issues that we had were pupils correctly put that the sine squared x plus cos squared x equals 1 because it does, but they substituted the 1 for sine squared x plus cos squared x, and they ended up with this. What, 2 cos squared x minus sine squared x. What's the issue with that? You had to write this in terms of a number plus b sine squared x. You can't have cos squared x in the final answer. The purpose of it was to eliminate the cos squared x term. You would also lose a mark if you got this. It's correct. If you have a look at 1b in the commonly observed responses, you would get 1 mark, but it's unsimplified. You've left it inside the brackets, but you're told that you had to write it in this form. So that means you have to expand the brackets. So I hope you found this video useful. Best of luck with the studying, and if you have any issues, just leave a comment in the comment section. So thank you.